Welcome into Press Box Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles, along with Luke Jackson, both of us with PressBoxOnline.com, and of course our friend and yours, the old left-hander Ross Grimsley. And guys, we got a lot to talk about with the postseason going on, managerial stuff starting to percolate. But I wanted to start off by just a brief remembrance. And Ross, not that I take you out of this equation, but I know you didn't know Craig Heist that well, other than to say hello to him a few times up in the press box. But we'd be remiss if we didn't say a few words remembering Craig Heist. And Luke, I don't know how well, I know he knew you and knew of you and knew what you did for Press Box, but I don't know how well you knew him. He was a very good friend of mine for a long time. We met in the mid-90s through the radio show I was doing over on 1300 AM and then 105.7 The Fan for a brief time. But I'm what's as shocked as I was and saddened by it. It's been just unbelievable, the outpouring of affection and admiration and respect for the level of work that he did and the type of person that he was.
Very well said, Stan. Like you said, he and I would exchange pleasantries, but it was amazing to me. Just he covered everyone, and Baltimore, College Park, DC, he covered everyone,
Yep.
and very hard worker. He was part of the furniture in the press box in Baltimore, DC, and College Park. So he will be very much missed.
Funny story. This gives you an idea of the perception of Craig Heist. Craig was you and I were in a pretty bad car accident last year in Bradenton. He was, when the Orioles were in Fort Lauderdale, he was in a really bad car accident, like a T-bone situation, and his car flipped over, and for weeks he had just bruising over his entire body. But anyway, about 2 days after he was in the hospital, it was during spring training, Bill Stetka was on his way up to see him. And they said, "Hey, Bill's coming up the stairs." And so he picked up the phone and he goes, "Well, that'll do it for now, Stan." He goes, "Reporting from, Fort Lauderdale, this is Craig Heist from the hospital," or something like that. And he pretended to hang up a phone. And Bill Stetka walked in and was like mortified that he'd be doing reports from his bed. So that kind of gives you a sense of the sense of humor of Craig Heist. He was a dear friend for a long, long time.
Oh, he was a funny guy. He was a funny guy.
Very funny guy.
He was quietly funny.
And I just
for me,
yeah, I remember him at a lot of Maryland basketball games, and waiting for availability after games. He would crack some jokes.
Yeah. I had one other episode. He was always he made a decent living for a good while, but he was always hustling, and he was making. Joe Strauss used to say he was a millionaire making it $40 at a time, because he was a stringer for ESPN and Fox Sports. Anybody that needed tape or anything, Craig Heist was your guy. So I was going to be at the 2000 Super Bowl in Tampa, and I was going from the radio station, so I had a real hotel room this time. So I said, "Craig, do you need a place to crash?" So he stayed with me for 2 nights. And one of the things he needed for Sunday after the game was he needed an awl. You know what an awl is, Ross? A long wooden pole that he put a microphone on. It was called an
right.
awl. So I had the car too. I had a rental car. So I got him an awl from Home Depot. And Saturday night he was out somewhere late, and I took my Sharpie, and it was going to be the Ravens and the Giants, and I wrote all over his awl, like 15 times I wrote the Redskins suck. He was a big Redskins fan. So the next day at the Super Bowl, I see him, he's trudging up and he's really pissed, at me. And then I see him with the all after the game, and it's wrapped with tape all over it. And the other thing is, we went to what was it? What would you call it? A topless bar in Tampa called Mons Venus. It's a kind of world-renowned place that most.
I know nothing about those places.
I know you don't at all. Uh, Bird would be mortified if you ever set foot in a place like that. But anyway, I wanted to leave. It was about 1:15 in the morning, and I had driven him there, and I couldn't find him at all. So I walk up to the like Mater D station or something, and they had a microphone there. And I said, "Is it possible you could page a friend of mine? I can't find him anywhere." And they paged Craig Heist. Would Craig Heist please come to the front of my opinion? He was absolutely mortified with me
Yeah, I bet.
paging him at a strip club. So I said, "Well, Craig, I couldn't find you. I was looking for you. Who knows
Yeah.
what room he might have been in or what he was doing." But we had a lot of laughs together, Craig and I, and he will be sorely missed. And Luke, for us, losing Heisty and Henning within
Yeah.
about 3 months of each other was quite a hit.
Right.
us.
Right. And I still miss Jim. I know I talk to you about this all the time.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
always wondering what Jim would have said about
right.
this situation or that situation.
Right. And we had the October issue of Press Box comes out in a couple days on Wednesday, and I miss not getting his column for the paper because he and I would discuss it, and he's like he would say, "Here's what I'm thinking for this column. I'm thinking about X, Y, and Z. What do you think?" And then he would file the column. We would call. He
Yeah,
would call, and we would talk about it. What'd you think? Can we do this? Can we do that? What do you think about that? And I miss it. I miss
yeah,
him.
I know. I know you do. I know you do. Uh, this paper that comes out will be pretty much only the second issue of Press Box without Jim in it. There were a couple times he took some time off,
Right, right.
but
Yeah,
he's been in the paper for forever. So our thoughts go out to Suzanne Heist and all those that of the Heist family and those that love Craig. Um, on to what we normally talk about, and that's baseball. We now know that the Milwaukee Brewers will host the Dodgers tonight, but first we'll have game 2 of the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. And I think a lot of people are very surprised that Seattle jumped out to a lead. It's easy for me now, being up 1-0, to say I like Seattle in this series, but I wouldn't have picked them in game 1.
well, they got exactly what the doctor ordered from Bryce Miller. They got 6 innings from him on short rest, and they were able to get to the finish line in that game in 100 pitches. Like,
Yeah.
if you would have offered that to Seattle before the game, they would have signed up for that in blood. Because I'll tell you what, I mean, the relievers that they used were probably one up and out, probably 1 inning only, and they're probably hoping that it would be brief innings. And they're probably still
And what
in
did they use?
place.
They used Spire for one,
Yep.
Brash for one, and Munoz for
Yeah,
one.
and all those guys are probably just available for the one, I would think.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe Bizzardo isn't even available today. He certainly wasn't available last night after what he did.
I would expect that Munoz would be available for 1 inning tonight. He only
Right,
threw about 7 or 8
right,
pitches.
which helps,
Yeah.
which
Ross,
really helps.
your
And
thoughts
Yeah.
on that?
so I
Oh, yeah,
doubt,
absolutely. Gilbert would probably give him, yeah, maybe give you 7 innings, but
oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
oh yeah, really. I think Seattle's got the pitching to go. go a long way. And I think they'll be in the series against the Dodgers. I mean, they're 4-2 on with Toronto, for the season. I'm really impressed with their pitchers, especially their starters. And Munoz coming out of the pen to shut it down. I like them.
They've got ton of arms, and
Yeah,
you saw it certainly in that 15-inning game. I think Detroit's lineup helped out a little bit in that regard, but
yeah.
Seattle really all season has been driven by their arms, but also Cal Raleigh. He's an MVP candidate, of course, and they've got a lot of power in that lineup. They've been able to hit a lot of home runs, even playing their home games in Seattle. So yeah, I mean it's a really, really solid team, and it
He's
felt
only
like they
hit what,
stole one last night.
he's only hit 9 home runs in Rogers Center, I think now.
Who's that?
Cal Raleigh. I think he's
Riley?
hit
Yeah.
9 home runs in Rogers Center.
That was a great at bat he had against Gossman yesterday
Fantastic.
because it
Oh,
seemed to me that he was sitting split. It
Yeah.
seemed to me that he was looking for that, and he jumped all over it.
I
And
tell you, to look for it and hit it like that. I
two
mean,
different things, right?
that's two. Yeah, really. I mean, because you can look a lot of times you can look for them quality pitches and you still don't hit them.
Yeah,
Even if you know it's coming. But
and he
yeah,
must have done a heck of a job behind home plate because
oh,
Springer starts off the game with a home run, and then
yeah,
Toronto
12 pitch at bat to Lucas and walk.
and then
And then
Toronto
after
after
that,
that goes 1 for 28
yeah.
the rest of the game. 1 for 28.
yeah.
And
I think
you're absolutely right, Stan. After the home run and then the long Luke's at bat,
He was
you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a long day for Seattle. You start thinking, how are they going to get to the finish line in this game? Who exactly is available after the 15-inning game? And then they just pitched great after that.
Yeah.
really.
I've grown very fond. It's funny. Is this their third year together? A-Rod, Big Poppy, and Jeter.
Right.
Is this their third year? I really didn't like Jeter at all year one. I thought he got a little better last year. I think just like in football, I think Tom Brady has really
He's gotten
risen,
better. Yeah.
really good. I thought Jeter was great last night. He didn't criticize Schneider, but he made a point of basically saying that I don't understand why you would have taken Gosman out there.
Okay. Kevin was
He gave up a solo home run. He goes, big deal. He might have given up another solo home run. But he
Right.
said, when I played, when they had a pitcher going like Gosman was going, and they would take him out of the game, it kind of lifted us up
Right.
to get an arm like that out of the game, no matter who they brought.
Absolutely.
And I thought he made an excellent point on that.
Yeah, and it seems like the chemistry on set is a little better. I know that I don't think things ended great between Jeter and A-Rod in New
No,
York,
they get along fine though.
but and it just seems like the chemistry's gotten better. I don't know.
And they
Yeah,
both,
once you do that kind of stuff and you've never done it, and you get around people and you listen, and things start picking up. Because I mean, you're right. I know when I first did the thing with the pregame, I had no clue. And Bob Haney, who's great, I'd listen to him. I'd do shows with him, Coleman, and some of the other guys down there. And that's really how you learn to do it. And perfect example is Kenny Singleton when he first started.
on
I mean,
TV, he was terrible.
oh, he just
he
had all,
first
but he got better.
He
I mean,
got much better.
yeah, he knew, and now, I mean, he retired as one of the top announcers, especially in New York.
It's hard for me to imagine someone with that voice ever being bad at it, but I guess it's possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's got a perfect baseball voice.
Oh yeah,
It's just perfect. But he got better.
Real quick, just a couple things. Bill Callahan was let go. Brian Callahan was let go by the Titans, football coach, and Sandy Alomar Sr. has died at 81.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's Robbie's father, right? Sandy and Robbie's father,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
So sad news there on both accounts. But Brian Callahan will be with us for a lot longer, and I'm sure he'll be back up some capacity in football. Uh, how about this? So do we all three agree we kind of like Seattle a little bit in the series and like
I do. I really do.
Seattle
I liked them
1-0?
before,
Yeah,
and I just think, I mean, they're pitching really well. They just do a lot of things well. I think they put the ball in play better than most any team in baseball now. They don't strike out a lot, but they do a lot of good things, and it just watching them how they carry themselves, what they do, and especially the pitching. Good pitching is going to stop hitting, and it did last night.
yeah.
Boy, what did you think about their plan in Game 5 against the Tigers, where basically they just spam sliders? They just threw sliders for 50.
Duh. If a guy can't hit it, keep throwing it.
Well,
You know?
yeah, I mean, Detroit has a lot of right-handed hitters who are
Yeah.
susceptible to breaking stuff. And so
Yeah.
Torkelson, you think especially Baez would be one,
Yeah.
Torres would be another. They've got a lot of right-handers who are really
Dingler.
susceptible for breaking stuff away, and
Yeah.
just like they weren't going to get beat by fastballs to guys like Torkelson and Torres and Baez, and they just spam breaking balls.
Yeah.
It
Hey,
worked.
they're not hitting it. Keep throwing
Yeah.
it.
Hinch did a great job with the Tigers. The general manager didn't really give him a great team. And when Reese Olson got hurt and Mize sort of became very spotty,
Mhm.
Flaherty was spotty all year long. There wasn't a lot of there on that team. And I thought,
Outside of Scooble, right?
yeah, I think, well, the whole team, there wasn't a
Right.
there. And I look for the Tigers to really make a strong pitch after Pete Alonso.
He would certainly
Yeah.
fit, and maybe you could flip Torkelson in like a change of scenery
Yeah,
kind of move. I don't know.
yeah.
Hinch and Harris, the president or GM, whatever his title is, they had a
He's the
press conference
president of
today.
baseball
Yeah, they
operations.
had a season-ending press conference today, and he revealed that they extended Hinch, I think, at some point during the season. So he's locked up long term, and he also said that he had no regrets about the trade deadline because he said that the guys that they would have gotten, and it seemed like he was hinting at Eugenio Suarez. That's just in listening to his answer. That seemed like the direction he was going. He said that the guys that they were targeting at the deadline didn't end up doing well the rest of the year anyway, and basically said that the trades they could have made wouldn't have helped.
I got to be honest. I thought the biggest, I won't call it a shock, but I thought that Scott Harris had made a very smart, small trade in acquiring Charlie Morton.
Mhm.
And his first one or two starts, I said, hey, they really made out here.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it went as south as it went the
Right.
first 10 starts. I mean, it was
Right.
just,
Did
Yeah,
they have a lot of injuries at the end of this, toward the end of this, when they started going downhill?
Torres was playing through an injury
yeah,
that's gonna require surgery here
a
shortly.
hernia
A hernia.
surgery.
So and his production really ticked down in the second half, and that could probably explain why. Um, I think Detroit was one of the more injured teams. Not quite as injured as the Orioles or the Astros, but I mean they were beat up throughout the year. Yeah. But it seemed like the Torres injury took a big bite out of their offense.
Yeah.
That showed.
And they really went a long time with Parker Meadows in the middle of all that.
Oh
And
yeah.
while he's a terrific defender, we saw in Baltimore with Cedric Mullins when somebody's not hitting, yeah, the defense is good to have, better than not, but you really miss having somebody that can put the ball in play, you know.
Right. And they had a lot of guys really not show up offensively in the playoffs. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Really, Baez was one of their best playoff performers. Um, and they like Riley Green didn't do a whole lot. Parker Meadows, you mentioned, didn't do a whole lot. We just discussed Torres, and so yeah, they need offense this
Yeah,
offseason. I think.
Carpenter's their most dynamic offensive player, I think.
Right, and still they hide him against lefties sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what they do. But I like Seattle a little bit, but let me take the break and do a commercial for the Costas Inn and remind everybody that we always do this every Monday. 6 thumbs up for the Costas Inn. And boy, is that the place, the original Costas Inn on 4100 North Point Boulevard. There wasn't a time you went there that you wouldn't find Craig Heist at the Costas Inn. And Nick and Pete are really kind of devastated for what it'll do to their business, because Craig Heist spent a lot of money on steamed crabs, Craig Heist. But seriously, the Costas Inn, a great place. I'm proud that I introduced Craig to the Costas Inn, and that's where he fell in love with their crabs and just became best friends with Nick and Pete. You'll love the place for the atmosphere. The food's always great. Prices are, food's expensive today, but they're not high and mighty. They're not like the big name steakhouses or something like that. But the food quality is great. The hospitality is great. The ambiance is great. You'll love the place. 2 great locations, 4100 North Point Boulevard, where they still serve steamed crabs. But at the other location, at the Timonium Fairgrounds, above the grandstand, right next to the OTB, is the brand new Costas Inn there. Same great menu. There's some debate about who can get pork chops and who can't get pork chops there, which are my favorite.
Boy, they were good.
God, you son of a gun. So I'm going to have to go out to the old location to get, even though they like us to say that you can get everything off the menu at both Costas Inn. All right. But check out the new location. It's at the Timonium. They're open for lunch and dinner at both places. 410-477-1975 to call up 4100 North Point Boulevard to reserve your crabs. Check out both Costas Inn. You'll love the places. You really will. And we give them 6 thumbs up. All right. It's only 5.
Oh, wait.
There
Oh, there it is.
Okay, I thought I was wondering if you were going to notice. All right.
All
I
right.
noticed.
Well, I did
He's
it.
on
I
top
did
of
it.
it.
All right. National
He
League.
didn't get a pork chop, so he wasn't going to go
Yeah, that's
5.
right. That's it. National League. We got the Brewers hosting the Dodgers starting tonight. Luke, who you like in this series? To me, this one
Okay.
is a real toss-up.
It really is. So the Brewers went 6-0 against the Dodgers in the regular season, but if you look hard at those 6 games, they're like 2 or 3 bullpen games sprinkled in for the Dodgers. Their rotation wasn't fully healthy. It certainly is fully healthy right now. They've got some dogs in that rotation.
By the way,
Blake's, go ahead.
not to interrupt you. What did the Orioles do against Seattle this year?
5-1.
5-1.
And they were a few feet away from going 6-0 because if you remember, Mountcastle was very close to hitting a walk-off home run against Seattle's closer, whose name escapes me right now, even though we were just talking about him.
Munoz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mountcastle was very close to walking off Munoz. But anyway,
All right.
I think the Brewers are uniquely qualified to be able to handle the swing and miss stuff that the Dodgers are going to throw at any opponent in the playoffs. Snell, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Ohtani, Sasaki in the bullpen, all of those guys have elite swing and miss stuff. However, the Brewers don't strike out a lot. And I think they could sort of operate as like gnats. GNATS.
NATS, yeah.
The Nats.
For the Los Angeles pitching staff. So I'm sort of leaning toward Milwaukee. But maybe game 1 starts and Ohtani gets back in the mix offensively, and you get those 3 Hall of Famers doing their thing at the top of the order for Los Angeles, and you're thinking, ooh, I don't know about this. But I'm sort of leaning Milwaukee right now. The other thing is that Milwaukee is so good in that home park. So good in that home park. And I don't know. I'm like 55-45 Milwaukee right now.
Well, that's pretty significant. I'm like 52-48.
Yeah.
Because but give me the benefit of game 1. Who's pitching for Milwaukee tonight?
Good question.
Let me check.
It's not going to be Peralta.
He's pitching the second game, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, I would think he'd go in the second game.
Uh,
Snell's going for the Dodgers.
let's see. Aaron Ashby is going to
So
open.
Ashby, huh?
So here's the situation. They're going to throw Ashby for 1 inning,
Right.
most likely, and then Mizorowski's probably going to
He could go
could and pitch 4 or 5 innings. And he was electric the other night
Yeah.
against the Cubs.
How many
So-
days ago was that?
That was back in game 2, I think. So that was like last.
The Miz pitched in game 5 a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But-
what
but
I thought.
He came in behind Ashby and really was electric. He threw at least 3 or 4 pitches over 100 miles an
And
hour.
that's what plays come playoff time. You want swing and miss stuff come
Yeah.
playoff
Mhm.
time. Like the
He's-
fourth and fifth pitch to contact starters, those guys get wiped out in the playoffs. They're just not good enough.
All right, so we kind of Luke likes Milwaukee. I haven't heard who you like, Ross.
I like the Dodgers for the series. You know,
Yeah, I
I'm
do
picking
too.
I'm picking the Dodgers in Seattle.
I think
I didn't.
I
I
think
saw that they were 6-0. The
the
Milwaukee was
Milwaukee.
6-0 during the season, but again, that was the Dodgers. They waited till the end to kick it into gear and get everybody back together. So this
Stan,
should be a really good.
Stan, your boy Tobias Myers was added to the NLCS roster
Okay.
for
That was who
Milwaukee.
Dan Duquette traded Tobias Myers, an Oriole draft pick, for Tim Beckham,
Right.
who had about 2 weeks where it looked like the greatest trade in the world. And Tobias Myers has become a serviceable. major-
But didn't Myers end up going to Cleveland after that
Yes.
in exchange for Junior Caminero?
Was it for Caminero?
I think so. I think
Okay.
the Rays were involved in 2 of the heists of the century in baseball.
Chris Sanchez on the
Yeah, that
wrong
on the
side
bad
of that.
side for the Chris Sanchez or Curtis Mead, and then this one would be on the good side.
Wow. Well, unbelievable. Anyway, so we kind of have picked our teams there. The game is at 5 o'clock today, the Seattle-Toronto game. I'll tell you one quick thing about Toronto. Santander is finally looking.
I have
swinging
news
a
on
little
that
bit
front.
better.
He's out of the lineup tonight with a back. He was
Ah.
just scratched. That just happened.
Uh,
All right. Anyway, I like Seattle. I like the Dodgers a lot less than Seattle, but then again, I've got the benefit that Seattle won game 1. Let's talk for just a couple of minutes about managerial stuff. News today that San Diego's manager, Mike Schild, is out. Now, he claims it was his decision and that he retired at 57. I'm not so much buying that it was his decision.
He says that the last 2 years in San Diego took a lot out of him.
I bet it
And
did.
so I'll
I bet it did. Managing Manny Machado.
and so I'm gonna take his word for it and say that this is a legit retirement and that he wasn't forced out.
Okay.
you think he's going to look for another job?
He's a
Or
baseball
did
lifer.
they say? Or did they say he was going to do something in the Padre organization?
I think he's just taking time off.
He's taking it off. Yeah. Well, I listened to something
back
today
managing
about
somewhere else.
they were talking about San Diego has some analytical things, and he's not a big analytical guy. He wasn't with St. Louis.
Right.
And,
There's a big disagreement in St. Louis over that. That's why he left, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think, well, if you just check him out, he ain't gonna come to Baltimore then.
No, he will not end up.
He would probably be really good for that team.
But yeah, I'll take his word for
I've
that.
heard
Mike-
nothing but good things about
Yeah,
him.
Mike Schild would be the right type of guy, in my opinion, if they
Yeah.
wanted a real manager.
Right.
By the way, Luke, we know that Brandon Hyde has sat down with Buster Posey,
Mhm.
but it's very interesting because the word came out that Nick Hundley is the favorite, but he hasn't interviewed yet for the job. He's very good friends with Posey. I'm wondering if Brandon Hyde wasn't brought in to talk to about being Nick Hundley's right-hand man, bench coach, and they wanted to see if the Buster Posey and he agreed. I think Hyde's going to get some looks as both a manager and perhaps as a bench coach.
Yeah,
And I think that would be a great fit. He's from the Bay Area.
Yes. There are 8 managerial openings at the moment because the Texas one wasn't really an opening.
Right.
So there are 8 openings, and I mean, if you're Brandon Hyde, you 2 years ago you won 100 games, and you're one of, I don't know, 4 or 5 managers to win the AL East with the Orioles, like in the last 50 years. So I mean,
And you were manager of the year
oh,
one
no,
year, right? You were
what?
manager of the year.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a pretty good point on the resume, I would think, going into these interviews. And so I'm sure he wants another crack at managing. I'm sure he's going to get opportunities to interview as he has already. There are 8 openings, and he's certainly qualified to interview. And but to your point, could teams talk to him with the idea of, if we bring in a younger manager, would Hyde be open to being a bench coach? I will say this, that apparently Hyde was under contract with the Orioles for next year. So if he doesn't get the right opportunity, he could take
Sit
another
out and
paid
get paid.
vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's going to have some options.
Yeah. No question about it. The Angel job appears to be down to 2 people. It was interesting. Albert Pujols was originally thought to be the leader. Now Torrey Hunter's in there. Then they officially interviewed Pujols, but they say he's not necessarily the leader. I think Torrey Hunter is going to get that job.
I think whoever's going to get that job is going to be the guy who Artie Moreno wants to get that job.
Yeah.
So I think this is an Artie hire. I think Artie let his GM hire the last one, and I think Artie's doing this one.
And we got one more bit of news today. The Phillies announced that Rob Thompson will be back, and I think that's the right move. Yeah,
I think that's absolutely. It's not his fault that his team didn't hit.
All right, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for today. We'll be back next Monday. Not sure the time yet, but probably be like in the 4 or 5 o'clock range next Monday. For Luke Jackson and Ross Grimsley, I'm Stan the Fan, and we want to thank our friends at the Costas Inn for sponsoring all these talk fests here on the Press Box Media outlet. All right, that does it for today. Like us, share us, and follow us. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you real soon.